Yeah, so here again, people. All right, today's topic will be based on friendships. We're going to look at some definitions and some types of friendship. All right, thank you again for joining me on yet another presentation. According to Aristotle, you have three types of friendship: the friendship of utility, the friendship of pleasure, and the friendship of the good. All right, these are the three types of friendship that this scientist had. And I subscribe to his concept because it's very practical and I'm a practical person. So let's go deeper into those definitions that Aristotle had. I think it is very useful for us to be able to correctly define what a friend is, because then it will be easier for us to determine if a person is or isn't a good friend, right? Because let's face it, if you don't know what something is, how then will you know if it is good or bad for you, right? So if we should continue, the friendship of utility, according to Aristotle, is because of the benefits that can be gained or the usefulness of a person. Kind of a you scratch my back and I scratch yours, right? So this kind of friendship, an example of this would be like two persons who are friends because they are doing business together, or you used to go to the same school together and you're from the same group. So these expectations that we have of friends, we have to question it and find out, are they the right expectation based on the type of friendship that we have, right? So moving on to the second kind of friendship. The second kind of friendship that Aristotle stated was the friendship of pleasure, right? So this friendship exists because of the joy it brings, by way of being in someone's company, right? So this is usually hangout buddies, people with whom you have common interests. So one question would be, one question I would want to ask, I don't know if anybody else is thinking the same way, is where would friends with benefits fall in terms of category, based on Mr. Aristotle's definition? Well, I would want to think friends with benefits falls under this category. If you beg to differ, you can let me know. But I would want to say it falls under friendship of pleasure, because one, if you have a relationship like that where both individuals use each other's sexual pleasure, it is an activity that they both enjoy, so they have a common interest, so that would fall under that category, right? Also, there are other things that individuals like about each other, especially like for a person's wit, then, or just the way or the person does a particular thing, right? So I would put that kind of friendship underneath that classification that Aristotle made. Now the third and last one is the friendship of the good, right? The friendship of the good, this one now is the stronger one, right? Or the strongest kind. This one is very hard to come by. And this one is based out of mutual respect and admiration. So this takes some amount of time to build, right? Because you find that in this kind of friendship, people have similar values and similar long-term goals in life, and they have a similar worldview of how things should be, right? So I guess this kind of friendship is what most people think friends should be. That's most people who haven't really looked into this, like done any research to find out what are the different categories of friendship. So that's part of the reason why I felt I should do some research and come back and speak on it, because a lot of times when we say we have a friend, we tend to have some expectations that are outside of the actual type of friendship that exists, you know. So then, now that we have looked at the three types of friendship, we can now determine whether or not we have a good friend, because we have the definitions now, right? So sometimes we can see, because I'm thinking for myself right now, so I could say that sometimes I've probably done that, where I've determined that a friend is not a good friend without taking a step back to look at the type of friendship. And so I made a wrong judgment call, you know. It's only a good thing that sometimes it's of no consequence, but you know, that can happen. It can reach a point where, you know, it's of a big consequence because you made a wrong decision like that. So then, if you can do this, if you can manage to do this, to like look at the type of friendship before you determine whether the person is being a good friend or not, then you're a step ahead of many people, right? And this will help you, you know, as you go through in life, because if you can realize that, okay, this is the kind of friendship, then you can know the correct expectations to have, and you'll be well on your way. You know, a lot of times we look to people as our friends, you know, under the wrong categories, you know, and sometimes we don't understand why the dynamics change, why we outgrow people, we outgrow some of our friends, some relationships just change and we can't understand. But if we look at these categories, you know, you can definitely see, you know, how that could happen. Because if, for example, you have a friend that falls under the category of like a friend out of pleasure, right? If you used to hang out at a bar, for example, you know, and every time you go to the bar, you have these friends that always come the same Friday, and you know, you hang out, you have a drink, but outside of that, you guys don't link up anywhere else. You just hang out and talk there and whatever. If you have a change in your lifestyle so that you don't drink anymore, you'll find that you won't hang out there anymore. But then you're saying to yourself, you're putting pressure on yourself now. You're like, but these guys are my friends and I won't be able to hang out with them. And so, you know, it can hinder your growth if you don't make a proper decision right there. So there and then, that this is an example of how you can take a step back and assess. You know, look at it and say, but listen, is this person, what type of friend is this person? You know, why are we friends? So when you look at that now, it's you're able to make a more informed decision. You know, and this is the way that I'm referring to. So if you look at that now, you know you'll be able to determine, is this person the type of friend that I would want to change, to stop a change of my lifestyle. Say for example, you had to stop drinking because of a medical reason or a religious reason. You know, is this friend going to cause me to compromise that? You know, other things. If you go into a certain kind of business, you know, and you used to hang out with some people who their lifestyle would be in conflict with that business that you're trying to do, you know, is it worth it? If I leave and I grow and I leave out of that company, am I not being a good friend? You know? So when you look at this now, when you have this in front of you, and you can say, all right, no, this person is not that kind of friend. So if when I grow and when I improve on myself by launching into this area of business, you know, it's in conflict with that. So, you know, I'm not being a bad person. You know, sometimes we can use this to weigh us down and prevent us from doing things that will make us grow. So, you know, it is very important, people, you know, to use this kind of thinking to make certain decisions, you know, or else the same people who we thought were our friends, them same one move on and leave you, you know, and you had that expectation that that person was your friend, right? When the person isn't really doing anything bad, the person knows already that the reason why you are there is not because you're in a category where you're a friend of the good, because you don't share those goals and long-term values that you know a good friend category would be, a friend out of the good, you know. So, you know, if you have a friend and you realize that person, you know, is not hanging out with you anymore or doesn't do business with you anymore, you can't really to be that person. You have to look at it from that perspective and see that, you know, it's just based on the type of friendship that you guys had. You know, sometimes you conceive the wrong thing still. Sometimes you believe that you were in another category, but you have to know what kind of friendship, know the expectations, you know. Make sure that you have the right expectations and keep that in check. Alright? But I don't want to keep you guys too long. You know, we have been talking about this for a while, and I hope you guys have gained something from this presentation. You know, I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Alright? Peace.